might win. You might win some, but you might win some, but you might win some, but you dumb, but you dumb, but you dumb, but you dumb, but you might win some, 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 but you might win.
It's funny how money changes situation. Miscommunication lead to complication. My emancipation don't fit your equation. I was on the humble, you on every station. Someone play young Lauren like she done. But remember not to game new under the sun. Everything you did has already been done. I know all the tricks from bricks to Kingston. Like Kingdom Major, Kingdom One Run. Now understand L Boogie not violent. But if a thing test me, run to me gun. Can't take a threat to me newborn son. L been this way since creation. A group of car you far from temptation. Now you on ball over separation. Tarnish my image in the conversation. Who you gon' scrimmage like you the champion? You might win some, but you just lost one. You might win, you might win, you might win, you might win, you might win.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of the BRI, which is the Black Research Institute, where we're here and we're committed to solving the problems. Tonight, I have a special guest, a brother who is a motivational speaker let me rephrase that. A brother who is a mindset coach and inspirational speaker. I haven't got the opportunity to work with this brother. His representative contacted me and wanted to be wanted her client to be interviewed. And here at the BRI, if you're doing something and you got something going on, after I research you, I am going to interview you because I feel like we need more exposure for our Black intellectuals and Black people who are out here doing things. So, because we are unapologetically Black over here. The brother, from what I gathered in a brief conversation that I had with him, is a good brother, and he knows his skill set and his business. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Tim Brown. What's up, T?
What's going on? What's going on?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Some good words you had about me. So I'm looking forward to to sharing. Looking forward to hearing the questions that you have for me so that we can share with the folks here on your audience.
Yo, but let the folks know you wasn't prepped. This is all organic right now.
All organic.
All organic. Okay, man. So before we even get into all the questions, tell the people about Mr. Tim Brown. Who is Mr. Tim Brown? Give us a little back history on yourself, brother.
Okay. So, I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, born and raised. I know you was about to ask me those things, but I've been here in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia area, and I've been here since 2003. And, I've all my life I've been into, financial literacy and wellness and, the things that, affect us. I've always been inquisitive about it. And so, I've been in business now since 1997 in some sort of business, whether it was, traditional or non-traditional, love research, love studying, have a degree in business. And so, those are some of the things that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about wellness. I'm passionate about financial literacy, and I'm passionate about helping people. Those are, that's what I love doing.
Okay. Well, I mean, given the industry that you've been in, you need to be passionate about it. So speaking of that, you consider yourself a mindset coach. explain to me what exactly, and my view is exactly what a mindset coach is and what a mindset coach does.
Okay, so what I do is I help people to master their mindset because so many people, our mindset is not what we need to be. I think, a lot of people grow up in church, a lot of people go through school, and we have different, education that has missed the mark as far as helping us to reach the levels I think that God wants us to reach, the levels that we aspire to reach. Everything begins in the mind, all success begins between the ears. And so I help people to rethink, it's like a deprogramming of some of the things that we taught, reprogramming, and just helping people to believe in themselves because everything starts with belief.
Okay. Now, as a mindset coach, is there a I want to say, is there a particular philosophy that when you take on a client that, like, let's say, the foundation of your philosophy when you initially take on a client, like, how do you approach that?
Okay, so we first want to find out what a person is and what they believe in, and also find out what their goals are. Because you can't help a person unless they're ready to be helped, unless they want to help themselves. It's nothing that I wish I could believe, for everybody because my belief is so sky high. But I had to find out where a person is at in their belief and why they believe that way, and then help them to stretch themselves. A mind stretched beyond its capabilities, never return to the form that it was once was. And so we try to stretch people.
Okay. So as a mindset coach, you also try to change habits, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everything starts with our habits. Our habits create our beliefs, and so we deal with all of those things. We deal with what to read, what to listen to, because it's all about what we take in. First of all, what we take in, is our input is what becomes our output. And so if you take in good stuff, you're gonna put out good stuff. If reading good material inside our eye gates and we listening to good material into our ear gates, then that's what we become. And so I help people with those things.
Nice. So it's basically you help people develop some discipline.
Absolutely. Self-discipline, controls everything. And I actually, did that training today with my team. Everything starts with that discipline. You got to be disciplined because, we're taught one thing. And if we don't change those habits and with our day-to-day activities and become more disciplined in, our routine, then we'll never change. And, you got to change some things that you do in order to change the outcomes that you're going to get.
Okay. Now, as a mindset coach, what are some of the obstacles when you take on a client? Like, what are some of the common obstacles that you encounter when you take on a client? Like,
belief, man. So many people don't have any self-belief. They got so much self-doubt, so much fear. I think it's, and it comes from a lot of failures. And a lot of people don't understand that failure is a part of success. And so, we had to, get over those things, those doubts of, what if I don't make it? What if and then sometimes it's what if I do succeed with my goals? And how does my life change? And so, we have to deal with a lot of different things. And most of them are fear, and they stem with doubt. And I tell people, God don't give us the spirit of fear, because everything I do is biblical as well.
okay. Now, I know it's sort of personal, but what faith are you?
I'm Christian, and I'm not any denomination. I'm not a denomination. I believe in, God, and I believe in studying the Bible for myself.
Okay. So with that's more than likely the foundation that you use when you approach your mindset coaching, right? From that foundation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is what I believe in, how I was raised, and they say bring up a child in the way she go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. And so, my mom made sure
Right.
that I was raised in it, in the word. So even though I've departed, in my youth, it's my foundation, and so that's I couldn't deal with a person's mindset if they don't first have that faith, that rock, that faith that you got something that's bigger than you, that's higher than you, that's leading you and guiding you. And if you do, then we can work on everything else.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna come back to that, but I'm a segue. You said you're from Flint, Michigan, right?
Absolutely.
Now, when the water crisis hit Flint, Michigan, like, how did you feel about that?
Oh man, that was sad. First of all, I wasn't living there anymore, but it was sad that you got a city that is such a historical city. Every all of the wealth that's come through that city with General Motors, and before that the Fisher Bodies, the Chevrolet Buick, all at one time in Flint, Michigan, in small Flint, there was 72,000 automotive jobs in a city that had
Wow.
about 150,000 people living there. And
Wow.
so a lot of people that didn't graduate from high school from the South was able to go up to Flint, get those jobs in General Motors, to be able to take care of themselves, to be able to raise families. All of the entertainers, the athletes, the educated people that came out of my city, for such a city that has such a rich history and tradition, to to face those things, and for so many people to be hurt
Mm,
by that. I mean, it was devastating. And to know that it
mm.
all could have been avoided for just a couple dollars.
Right, right. I was in the Navy, and I had a couple of buddies that were from Flint, Michigan. I was in Chicago, and we would drive to Flint, man. And Flint was fun. Flint was really fun. Like, it was nice. And it almost has, not almost, it does have a southern appeal to it. Like, it has like a southern appeal. Like, the people are very hospitable, they're very nice, welcoming. I love Flint. And so when I saw that happening, I'm like, this is crazy. It's
Right.
for and when I went there, I think I went there in like 92, maybe
Okay.
91, and it was still thriving then. Like, it was good,
Right.
and
Right.
but to see that happen, that it broke my heart, because you shouldn't have, no one should have to, go through that because of money, but I digress. So we're gonna go back to your mindset coaching. So during this pandemic, have you
Hmm.
taken on a lot of clients because of the pressures and stress of COVID?
Well, what I've been doing this year is I have a team of folks that has grown tremendously this year because of the pandemic, because a lot of people have been laid off or out of their job, or looking for alternative ways to earn some additional income, or looking for some things to just keep their minds occupied. And so it's been a look. The pandemic, of course, so many families have been hurt by the pandemic, but I mean, it's been kind of a boom for the industry that I'm in.
Okay. Now, with this pandemic, have you seen, like, with the clients that you take on, more depression than normal?
I see it on Facebook and I hear about it, but um, I no, the people that I'm around, it's just I think because I'm so positive, that maybe the people
Mm-hmm.
that's around me take on my persona. You know what I'm saying? It rubs off on them to be positive, to
Mm-hmm.
to look at the brighter side of things than more so the negative effects of it. And so I'm I think I'm one of the most positive people that I could be around. And so, hopefully that's what's rubbing off on the people that's around me.
That's good. Now we're going to segue to the other aspect of what you do. You are an inspirational speaker. Now, when I hear that, I hear preacher.
Don't give me that. My wife's pastor would pat you on the back right now.
When I hear that, I hear because it's a lot of people that can tell you what you're doing wrong. It cannot. It's a lot of people that can tell you what you're doing wrong. But when I hear inspirational speaker, I see somebody that champions you. You know what I mean? So that aspect of your particular job and your title, how does that coincide with the mindset coaching?
Well, being positive, and being uplifting, and showing a person what's possible and talking to them about what's possible versus versus the negative. And like you say, a minister or a pastor, they are the ones who normally are going to give you the the motivation, to give you the encouragement, to talk to you about the faith and things like that. And so I look at what I do as a ministry, so to speak. Because it's a mission that's, that for me is led by God, to be able to share some information, to be able to help some people in my community, to be able to help some people that's like me, to realize what's possible for them. That not only are we, our souls supposed to be saved, but we're supposed to be prosperous. We're supposed to leave an inheritance to our children's children. We're supposed to, inherit the earth. And so I look at it, kind of like a ministry, to just, that the minister that we go to see on Sunday, or we listening to on Sunday, we send them once a day, or on a Bible study on a Wednesday. But my team and the people that's affiliated with me and attached to me, they get a chance to talk to me and hear me every single day. And so it just adds on to that message.
Right. Well, the actual quote is, the duty of a man is to leave an inheritance for his kids, grandkids.
That's children's children, right? It's children's children. That's legacy.
Right.
That's legacy.
Right.
Absolutely. And it can be, it can be mental, what I'm saying? But for me, I look at it as mental, physical, and, financial.
Okay. Now, because you've hit finances a lot. So do you have a financial component to what you do as well?
So again, my passion is financial literacy. And so a lot of what I do with my folks is, we deal with the mindset. We help you to master your mindset, but we also help you to master your wellness and your wealth. Right. 3 John 1 and 2. And so, that is, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health as your soul prosper. And so that's kind of the scripture that, for me, leads me to doing what I do. And so, yes, this financials is in that because, again, we've been taught, we've been taught to all our lives, right? What they tell us, to go to school, to get a good job, to go to school, get a good education, and get a good job. And then the story ends. And so the story has to go beyond that. And so what do we do once we got our good job? We got to be smart with our finances. We got to learn how to, save, learn how to invest, and stop looking like the Joneses and appearing like we got wealth. But we got to actually learn the financial literacy piece of it so that we can then start to invest and build legacy income. A lot of us, the mindset is, I got my good job, and I'll try to fake it. I'll fake it like I'm making it, right? I'll go buy the clothes, and I'll go buy the shoes on the car, and the shoes and the purses and everything, but then don't even have, can't even put their hands on $5,000 liquid. And it's, it's all financial literacy. And so that's a part of the mindset, and that's a part of the coaching as well.
Okay. So you say financial literacy, like, do you develop like, let's say I'm your client and I come to you and I need help. Is there like a syllabus type of thing that you give your clients to follow? You know what I mean? Like, or is it just like this interview, totally organic, and they just need to get it?
Well, what I've been doing for the last couple of years is building it, and that's something that I've actually started putting on paper this year. I have
Okay.
a professor who's helping me to write the curriculum, and we actually are
Okay.
almost, we're probably 90% done with it. And it's
Wow.
look, you actually, we're the first interview that people are getting a chance to hear this.
Nice. Well, I'm honored, man. I'm honored. Make sure I'm the first one to get it too, because I need it. Because I'm an example of what you said. Like, I make okay money. And in making okay money, I think a lot of people kind of figure like I can make it again. You know what I mean? So they go out and haphazardly just spend on anything because next Friday I'm gonna get paid again.
Right, right.
So I can't point no fingers at nobody else but myself because I sort of follow that trend, man. So with someone like me, thinking from paycheck, see, I understand that if you think from paycheck to paycheck, you will live from paycheck to paycheck.
Ooh, absolutely.
So I understand that, but changing that mindset for me is hard. So you sort of act as an intermediary, as a accountability coach, right?
Yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely. For my team of people, for the people who are attached to me, that's what I operate as, that as well, to keep them accountable, because there's some things that I'm doing that I've been doing, and not just stuff that I'm talking about, but I'm walking it, and they get a chance to see it. And then I also share that knowledge and share that information with them as well.
You,
And
you,
again, we operate on a daily basis to help people to, get over that hurdle. Because like you said, we have been ingrained, and it's something that if it took you, if you've been working 5, 10, 15, 20 years and you've been operating one way, then it's not going to change in 30 days or 90 days or a year.
right,
Your situation is
right.
not going to reverse itself in 18 months. And so I try to tell people that, it's a process. It's a
Okay.
process.
Well, you see, we may not should have mentioned about your class. You see, Miss Cooper was like, I want to know when the class is going to be available. Miss Cooper, me too.
It's coming.
Okay. So do you have like a tentative release date?
So my representative, the person who you talked to, who got me on here, we are working on an ebook that we're gonna.
Okay.
The plan is Black Friday, but don't hold me to it, folks. But be looking for it. I'm y'all hearing it first right here. The plan for an ebook is Black Friday.
Okay. All right. Well,
Just a
keep me
little
abreast,
bit,
brother.
just a snap, just a little bit. It's not going to be everything, but
Right.
give you a little bit to to let you know that this is real.
Well, keep me abreast, brother, because I'm very much interested in that. And it's not many people. It's not many people who go into the profession that you're doing. You see the FESs and those people. They're the what they call the MLM, the multi marketing things, right? And I
Hmm.
get people to try to get me to join those things, and I just think like for most people, finances are personal. They're personal things. So if I want someone to help me with my finances, I would want it to be on a personal relationship basis, right?
Right.
So I don't really particularly, even entertain that. But for you, what made you choose this profession? Like what inspired you to say, you know what, I want to be a mindset coach and inspirational speaker?
Wow, you know what? I'm this interview is so organic, but I'm so glad you asked that question because I was hoping you were going to ask me that. And I'm gonna tell you, it actually stems from way back. You know, my mother exposed us, and she was the reason why we were in church so much. But you know, education was a big thing, and exposing us, my sisters and I, were a big thing. And so, I think I had to be around 11 or 12, and my mother took me to seminars with her. You know, I'm the person that she dragged to, you know, financial seminars with a company that she was with. And, you know, you mentioned MLM, and it was an MLM company back in the day. And I've been in those things. And so those kind of some of the places where I've, you know, scraped my knuckles, so to speak. But she took me to a seminar, and they was talking about high finance, and they were talking about mutual funds, and they were talking about legacy income and wealth. And so it was put into me then. And so I would come back to my community, and I was wondering why the people that I was around, my aunts and my uncles and my grandparents and people in my neighborhood that worked all their lives at General Motors and still retired to a lifestyle that was less than the one that they had when they was working. And I know looking at my grandparents, you know, they worked all their lives. And when we used to go visit them in the South, you know, they had mice and, you know, and they didn't have a lot. And so for me, it was kind of like, well, I want to be a financial analyst or financial planner, right, to help people, you know. But and most people know that those things are out there. You know, you can go to a stockbroker, you could go to these places, but they're doing it as a job, right? They're doing it as a way to get that income so that they can live in their big houses. And so a lot of times we don't trust those people. And so even though we know it's information out there, a lot of us don't know who to trust because, again, like my grandparents, my grandmother paid to a insurance policy all her life. And even when she passed away, it still couldn't bury her. So, you know, those are kind of the things that we've gone through in our community. And so for me, you know, it's a big, big mission to educate and inspire and encourage and coach and teach people that, you know, you can live to your dreams. You can, you know, get to your goals. But, you know, a person has to be open. You got to be open. Right. They say the mind has to be open, like a parachute has to be open to work. The mind has to be open. And so, you know, so sometimes in our community, a lot of times, you know, we're so close-minded. And so first of all, we got to have that paradigm shift that, man, that God is no respecter of persons, that if this person over here that look like me can do it, all I need to do is get the information and then apply it over and over and over again for myself. And there are different companies out there, like you said, there's multi-level marketing companies out there. And again, I've done them. I won't talk about none of them. I know you mentioned one by name, but you know, it's information that's out here that can be gathered, you know, without going that route. But that is a route to learn, and because I learned a lot. I've learned a lot. May not have, you know, in those companies hit those hype goals, but I learned, and you can't put a price tag on knowledge.
And you know what? Now that you said it, let me put a disclaimer out there. I have no problem with FES. Like none at all. Like I have no problem. It's just not for me. And remember before we did this interview and I told you, you know, life is about styles. Life is about styles. And, you know, the FES style is not my style. You know, I don't feel comfortable in that type of situation. I would feel more comfortable with someone like yourself one-on-one coaching me with my financial literacy or, you know, changing my mindset on certain things. And I'm not a person who really is a that much receptive in crowds, like in crowds of people, you know. So I need that one-on-one. It may be the only child in me, but that's what I need, But so this particular profession has been instilled in you since 11.
Yeah. I mean, I ran away from it for a long time, doing my own thing, doing my own traditional business because I wasn't prepared, mentally at the time when I actually had a good group of people that looked up to me that was, following me. And then I had a hiccup, one of those failures. And so I kind of shook me for a little bit. And so that's another thing. That was a learning experience that I can stand on, that when I can talk to people to say, look, that's a part of the process. That's a part of the path to success is you're going to have some hiccups. And so, a lot of us haven't even tried anything to be exposed to the hiccups. And so,
right.
all of it is a part of the path. And so I ran away from it for a while.
It's funny that, people have to learn financial literacy in a capitalistic society. Like that is funny to me. Like you live in a society where capital is the number one thing, like getting capital. So it would seem like you would try to know much about acquiring capital as you possibly can, and
right.
I'm laughing at myself. But that's a funny thing that we live in a capitalistic society and we don't really try to, educate ourselves about capital, man. So we need people like you. Like we need people like you, and especially in our community.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons why we don't seek it is because we're fearful of somebody trying to take it,
Right.
If you got your fist closed, can't nothing get out. And I tell people, you probably heard this. You got your fist closed and you're so close-minded, can't nothing get out your fist. But also, as you got it so tight, can't nothing get in. So open the mind first. Open the mind first and receive some information and some knowledge. That's the first key. My first mentor used to tell me, the first key to success is to show up to the information. And the second key is to pay attention to it.
Right. So with your client base, do you find yourself, your typical client, what is the age range around your typical client right now?
Wow. Right now, more so like me, maybe anywhere between the mid to late 30s to the mid 50s.
Okay.
Yeah, like that 20-year, 35 to 55. But I would love to catch them younger. I would love, and I think, and that's really the goal, is to be able to catch them younger when they don't have as much fear
or debt.
But they coming out of college, they got a lot of debt because we've been taught to go to school and go, what I'm saying?
Right.
And so they're going, and if we can get some of those parents right now, then maybe we can, help the kids. And like my son is not going to go into college with debt. I actually paid off all my student loans. And so, I don't have no student loan debt, no credit card debt. So those are some things that we also going to deal with because, again, debt make you subservient. You got to go to work every single day for somebody because you got to pay that student loan. You got to pay that car loan. You got to pay that credit card bill. And, it's a lot of that money is going out right there to those lenders, and it's money that you can't invest.
I need you to say that again. Debt makes you what?
Subservient to the people you owe money to.
That's powerful. That is, a lot of people probably don't look at it like that. You know what I mean? They probably look at I'm in debt, but I got what I want. I got what I want. I got that car, or I got that bag, but yeah, you also got 40 more hours a week to work too because of that car.
Right.
But man,
so looking for 50.
Hey, I'm always baffled by, like, during this COVID, how bad people actually really wanted to go back to work. Like, that baffled me because it's like, I mean, I know you got to work for what you want. I understand that, but you don't have to risk your life for it. You know, like you don't have to risk your life for what you
Mm-hmm.
want. Like you gotta be smart. And with this pandemic, I would imagine with you being a mindset coach, I would imagine there are like just people who are just I'm not gonna say depressed because I'm not a psychologist or anything,
Right.
but
Right.
just have a hard time dealing with not working.
Yeah, there are people out here like that. There's people like that. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't have a whole lot of them around me. People that's not working. I know it's a lot of people that lost their jobs because we talk about it all the time. But that's another reason why it's that we have to build up our finances. That's another reason why we got to build up wealth is because a lot of us, again, we're taught to go get that good job, right? And it's great. It's great to have a job because it allows you to do some things and take care of your bills while you're working on your finances, while you're working on paying off your debt, while you're getting more information and knowledge about finances. Being able to pay off being able to pay your bills takes a lot of load off of you, right? Because if you're not
Right.
working and you can't pay your bills, it's hard for your mind to be open to anything beyond that. And so having a good job is good, but who knows when the next pandemic is going to happen? And it don't have to be, COVID. I mean, it could be something else. It could be your health. It could be, just the corporation lay you off, or it could be
Mhm.
anything of that nature. And so, it's better to be prepared than not prepared, right? And so, I believe in multiple streams of income. I'm actually a certified financial coach through Dave Ramsey Institute too, and so
Okay.
a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, having an emergency fund, is important because you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen, and so
Right.
we talk about all those things, and when I'm dealing with the folks that I deal with.
Well, if you notice, I don't go too much into what you actually do. I just want people to get the opportunity to get to know you and contact you after this interview because I listen, I tell my wife all the time, as a graphic designer, I design something for someone and I send it off. And they'll call me back and say, well, I want to do this with it, so I need the raw file. I can't give you the raw file. Like I can't give you that because it contains secrets to how I do things. So I don't want your secrets to be revealed in this interview. I just want people to know Mr. Brown and what he does and his services and
Yeah.
be intrigued enough to reach out to you. But brother, I wanna thank you for having this interview. I hope you enjoyed the interview. It was very insightful, and I will be contacting you when you get this ebook out because I need to know what where on Amazon or wherever it's going to be. I need to download it. But traditionally in my show, before I end the show, I ask all my guests two questions.
All right.
And yeah, and so the first question is, what are you doing to move the culture forward?
What am I doing to move the culture forward? Oh man, some stuff that's ingrained in me. Um, my mother did sit-ins in the
Mm,
old South in high school,
mm,
and so you know, for me, it's giving back. For me, it's giving back, and so I try to talk to the little kids. I've been a coach. I've been a baseball coach for the little kids,
mhm.
and I volunteer, and so just like the information I share here today too. I give
Mhm.
information freely a lot of times because it means a lot to me in our community. So
Okay.
everything I'm doing is for our culture.
Good. Okay. Now, the next question is sort of a history question. Some people have gotten stumped on this question, but I got to ask it because it's a tradition. So I need for you to name me 3 famous black people, and they can't be athletes or entertainers.
3 famous black people. Any 3?
No athletes and no entertainers. Any 3, but not athletes or entertainers.
Can I name the Vice President, Kamala Harris?
She famous now.
She's
Yes,
famous now, right?
She famous. She famous. She's definitely famous right now. Yes. Okay, you can name her.
Look, because I can name Andrew Young. I mean,
well, see, that ain't fair because you in Atlanta, so of course you're gonna name Andrew, but that's okay. I'm gonna give you Andrew and I'm gonna give you Kamala. Give me somebody else.
All right, you said it's not an athlete, not an entertainer. I mean, I got one on the top of my head, but okay, let's go with this. Ahead. Let's go with Dennis Kimbrough.
Dennis Kimbrough? Now you done stumped me. Tell me about Dennis Kimbrough.
Ooh.
Yeah, you stumped me. I don't know.
Author. He's an author.
Okay.
One of my favorite books. And so I'm actually have all you and your guests to go look up Dennis Kimbrough.
Oh, I'm going to, because I don't like to be like I consider myself a Black history buff. Like I don't know him. So Dennis Kimbrough, you cheated with Kamala Harris, but I'm gonna give you that. Kamala.
You said name 3. I was gonna say Barack Obama. So
I mean, he famous too. He famous too.
Absolutely.
And look, I'm looking for him to be on some type of money soon. Like he got to be on some type of money soon. So they'll probably put him on $1,000 bill, something that we ain't gonna never see. But he got to be on some money soon. But brother, I enjoyed this interview. Remember what I told you, hang back until I do this monologue, and I want to talk to you. But before we go again, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
My Facebook, or you can. My Facebook is Tim Brown. Or you can go to joincoachbrown@gmail.com and email me.
Okay, all right, and
you can also look up the Tim Brown Experience on Facebook. You can go follow me at the Tim Brown Experience on Facebook. Go follow me.
Okay,
and send me a message.
I'm glad you said that, because before this interview, Googled Tim Brown and it was a white guy. So I had to put the experience on there to get to you. So excuse me, the Tim Brown Experience on Facebook, or join Coach Tim Brown at gmail.com, correct?
Join Coach Brown.
Join Coach Brown at gmail.com. Okay. All right, brother. Well, thank you again. And man, this was a pleasure in interviewing you. You ain't even did a speech, and now I'm inspired. So thank you, brother.
Awesome.
Right,
thank you as well.
You're welcome, man. Everyone, that's Tim Brown. Thank you, brother. Hang back, and I'll get right back to you, okay?
Awesome.
Everyone, that was Mr. Tim Brown from the Tim Brown Experience. Mindset coach, inspirational speaker. If you are in need of his services, you can reach him at joincoachbrown@gmail.com or the Tim Brown Experience on Facebook. Great interview, great information, great brother. And I love doing these interviews, man, because it shows the world that we Black Americans, we are out here and we're doing positive things. We just need to get exposure. And that's the main goal of the BRI, is to give Black intellectuals, Black business owners, Black entrepreneurs exposure. So if you are a Black entertainer, if you are a Black intellectual, Black entrepreneur, Black business owner, or you have an idea and you want to be interviewed and you want to tell the world, or at least my followers, about what you have to offer, just contact me at dcgrfx@gmail.com, or you can reach me on dcgrfx on Facebook. That'll be the end of the show tonight. But thank you all for watching, and remember, in order for you to receive a blessing, you must first be a blessing. All right, everybody, have a good night. I love you all.